Minecraft is a game that gives you complete freedom, and with over 1,500 items to craft the world into whatever you want, it's no wonder that this game has inspired many to tap into their creativity. And most of these items are completely useless. Yep, you heard me. Diamonds, wood, and even food are completely pointless when it comes to beating the game. At this point, you may be wondering what you really need to beat the game, and it's actually quite simple. You really only need 5 items, and here's the list. The most important item, of course, is the Eye of Ender. Unless you consider yourself 1 in a trillion, in which case you'd be better off buying a lottery ticket, you're probably gonna need this if you want to beat the game. And the Eye of Ender leads us to the next 3 items, which are Ender Pearls, Blaze Rods, and Blaze Powder. But to get blazes you need a nether portal, which requires 10 obsidian and fire, but I only have 1 item left on my list. So how did I get both of these with only 1 item? A bucket. You can use a bucket to pick up both lava and water, which are the 2 ingredients required for a block of obsidian, which I'm pretty sure you guys already know. But how did I light a portal with just a bucket? With nature. Maybe if you would touch some grass. Anyways, lava can cause blocks like wood or leaves to catch on fire. So if you manage to set up a portal right next to one of these blocks, such as inside of a tree, and place the lava like this, it will, in theory, light the nether portal. Finally, you might be asking how I can get a bucket without any iron. And there are 3 structures that have a bucket in the loot table. The first 2, being a woodland mansion and a mob spawner, are not very desirable for this challenge, but the third option is a savanna village, which is way more doable, though the bucket does only spawn on a 10% chance. So now I had the plan fully set out and it was time to find the perfect world for this challenge. So let's start now. Now? Oh, this spawn is even worse. Turns out that I had underestimated how long it would take to find the right seed, as there were a few things that I needed to work out for this seed to be good for this challenge. The first is something you already know, which is having a bucket in a savanna village, and just that took until my 29th world, which doesn't seem bad until you realize that the next thing I needed was a lava pool on the surface. You see, since I needed both lava and a burnable block like wood for my nether portal to work out, going into caves for lava would be completely pointless unless I happened to stumble into a lava pool next to an abandoned mine shaft. It's not impossible, but I'd be guaranteed to take damage, and there are no healing items at all on my list. Now unfortunately, I didn't find a lava pool on my 29th run. In fact, I kept generating worlds again and again. Some had a lava pool but no bucket, some had a bucket but no lava pool, and most of them were completely useless. I kept generating new seeds until the 152nd seed, where I just so happened to spawn next to a lava pool, which just so happened to be close to a savanna village, which just so happened to have a bucket. And I'm in the nether, baby. And I spawned in a random hole. That leads right next to a crimson forest, which is one of the more dangerous biomes right now. And then I died to a ghast. Great. Well, back to generating worlds over and over and over again. Not like this is gonna take a while. But finally, on my 3rd day of attempting this challenge, my luck had finally begun to turn around. I spawned in a world, and after looking around for a while, I found a savanna with a village. And in the last house I checked out, there was the holy item, a bucket. But I knew not to be fooled by this world, as there had been many times I have found a bucket with no lava pool. However, after traveling for a little while, I had found it, and for the 2nd time I was finally able to go to the nether again. But it couldn't all be good, as this nether portal led right into a crimson forest again, packed with many mobs out to kill me. However, you would not believe what happened next. After carefully exploring, I managed to find a warped forest and a nether fortress, both within a few hundred blocks of my portal. That's when I knew that this would be the seed. However, I had already been down a couple hunger bars as I was sprinting a lot and knew that I should probably restart and solve the nether fully. First up was escaping the crimson forest. Although I had escaped the Crimson Forest in my previous run, I wanted to figure out a more direct path towards the Warped Forest. But first I have to get back into the Nether, so let's get this Nether portal set back up again and... Alright, let's do this. Just gotta get around these hoglins and... Bro. Yeah, that didn't happen. Let's just... Alright, take two. Let's try to dig up here. Why? How did you get here? Okay, so... This time around I got a bit further, making my way through the Nether safely without triggering any of the mobs or taking any damage, but I was about to reach my biggest obstacle. This big jump. Now I was hoping to have a cool gamer moment by pulling out a powdered snow clutch and proving that I truly am the best Minecraft player, but I couldn't really find any powdered snow anywhere, so I had to do this the boring way. But no need to worry about that, because on the next jump... And then... What? And then... They do so much damage. But finally, after playing Ring Around the Rosie with the piglin for a couple minutes, I had finally made all of my jumps and I could move on to the first real challenge, getting Ender Pearls. I did a bit of testing and found out that it takes 32 hits on average to kill an Enderman, meaning that while I could do it, if I needed 12 Ender Pearls, it could take roughly 24 Endermen or 768 hits to kill them. Not only would that take an absurd amount of time, that would eat into my hunger bar like nothing else. So after dying to an Enderman, on purpose guys, on purpose, it was on purpose to reset my hunger, I decided to figure out a smarter strategy. That's when I remembered that there had been a small lava pocket along my journey to the Warped Forest, and while I had just thrown away the lava before, I realized that I could just keep it with me and use it to kill Endermen. But there were a few problems. The first one being that I'm kind of an idiot, so I frequently gave Endermen free chances to hit me, but there was also a larger, more systemic problem which had to do with Enderman behavior. You see, when Endermen are damaged by something like lava, they are very likely to teleport away. Now normally, if the Endermen are aggravated at you, they will teleport back to you. However, sometimes I noticed that they would simply teleport away and never return. While this sometimes meant that they died of fall damage far away from me, sometimes they would get stuck somewhere, and once I forgot about them... Ah! Scared the shibidibidibba out of me, bro. In order to fix these problems, I decided to do a little trial, and is that a pigman? And after enough trial and error, I had finally found it. The Holy Tree. This tree was beautiful, almost perfectly set up for my method of grinding Endermen. This meant that I could finally really grind out those Ender Pearls consistently. However, just because I had figured out a strategy for the Endermen didn't mean my trials and tribulations would end there, since now I had to deal with the fortress. My first time in the fortress didn't go too well, and I realized that I needed a full-on strategy to deal with the blazes. Unfortunately, lava wouldn't work on them for obvious reasons, and I also couldn't use water on them, also for obvious reasons. So I spent time trying to figure out the safest way to kill blazes. I started by seeing if I could make some kind of trench, and when that didn't work, I tried to see if I could damage them from a hole in the wall without dying myself. And that also didn't work. But after doing tons of research in order to figure out how to kill these blazes without taking damage, I stumbled upon a risky strategy that would be difficult to pull off. But it could completely give me the edge on these blazes. And it went a little like... Yeah, sorry guys, I really wanted to come up with a more fun solution, but I really couldn't figure anything out that wouldn't result in me either taking a substantial amount of damage or dying, so I just went with the path of least resistance. You could call me boring, but I prefer the term strategist. Anyways, after solid snaking my way back through the Crimson Forest, which ended up being a lot easier than I thought it would be, I was finally heading towards the final part of my journey. The end. God, that sounds stupid when I say it out loud. First, I had to find the stronghold, and that was a simple task, except I only had half a day left to find it before it was going to be night. I hoped that the stronghold was close enough so that I didn't really have to deal with the night at all, but the sun was quickly setting with no stronghold in sight. However, I had managed to get a stroke of luck, because there just so happened to be a village nearby which offered great protection from the mobs. Another huge part of this village were the cats, who allowed me to stay safe when the phantoms finally started to spawn. After night finally passed, I decided to continue searching for the stronghold, which ended up being very close to the village. I decided to mine down and hope I wasn't digging straight into lava, and I wasn't. I had finally made it to the stronghold and I could just search for the end portal. There were just a few mobs I had to run around, and soon enough I had finally found the portal. And it was now time for me to take on the dragon. However... So I died to the Ender Dragon on my first attempt. But then I forgot to record. Whoops. So it was back to the start for me. But at least on the positive end, I knew that this time around, I would only need to get 9 pearls and 5 blaze rods, which meant that I could optimize my nether path a little bit more. Also, since I knew exactly where the portal was, I could just head straight to it. Boom. You're joking. Oh my god, you're actually joking. Alright. 3rd time's a charm. This is gonna take a while. Okay, 20th time's a charm? After finally managing to break all of the end crystals, I knew I was coming up on one of the biggest challenges of this entire run. You see, most of these crystals I could break from the side just using a water bucket and the natural obsidian for cover. However, there was one specific spire that would be especially problematic. You see, it was too wide for me to break the crystal on the edge, and if I broke the crystal anywhere on top, even if I tried to use some water for cover, I would die, even at full health. This meant that in order to safely break this crystal and have some cover, I would need to, with my fists, mine a block of obsidian without dying to the dragon. In case you didn't know, that takes 4 minutes and 10 seconds. I would have to sit in one place without taking a single hit from the dragon for over 4 minutes. Needless to say, this would be difficult. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Oh, finally. Apparently, I had not gotten the memo that it would be a bad idea to go in the prone position, so, yeah, this is fun. God damn it! Alright, now 3rd time's a charm. No baiting, I actually figured it out this time, and I broke the crystal, so now I can finally do what I came to do, which is beat the Ender Dragon. And this is gonna take a while. But finally, after tons of hours of grinding and working on this challenge, I had finally achieved this run. Alright, let's take this from the top. Oh, let's go. Alright, this is going pretty well. Let's go. Alright, I just gotta keep doing this the way I've always been doing this. Starting with the towers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now we gotta do the hard one. Come on. Let's try to get this while he's healing. Alright. Time to slay a dragon. I just need this guy to perch. Oh, yes, yes, yes! I just need him not to make any funny moves until he perches next. Holy shit, we're getting lucky here. No, come back! Low-key, this boss fight is easier than I remember. Round 3, baby, let's go! Bruh, I'm so close. Bro's dead the next time he comes here. I'm not letting him get away. This will be your last stand. Come on, come on. Oh my god! Still counts, I don't care, I got the achievement.